Welcome to Bible/Chat. Jason, hello.
Hello.
Once
This has been
again,
recorded in the future. This is not the next day.
It is not the next day. Once again, you're here with us at the Bible/Chat table
In the future.
in the future. Yes, yes.
I've
It's
come
been
back.
many days since you. Yeah, you just show up here and you take advantage of the facilities. And then I ask you to do Bible/Chat, and what do? You grumble and complain. I want to know why.
I don't know.
Nothing to say. Fine.
Yes.
So
But we did want to do something.
we did want to do a
Cover
Bible/Chat. So let me ask you a question. So we both are pastors at different churches.
Yeah.
Let's could you maybe maybe we could dialogue a little bit
Yeah, of
on
course. Yeah.
formal membership.
Yeah.
Your church has formal membership.
do.
We also have formal membership. Some churches don't have formal membership.
Yeah.
Some churches have maybe a more extreme formal membership than we do.
Yeah.
Maybe give us kind of the range of potential views on membership, and then we'll talk maybe about where we get our view of membership.
That's a great question. So there's no membership at all,
Right.
right? No formal membership, and you kind of just come and go,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's that extreme, and then the other side would be maybe you could say very formal membership, or maybe
Yeah.
a rigid,
Yeah.
View of
Rigid
membership.
form membership.
also like a high threshold
Yeah.
to be a member.
Yeah.
So that might include lots of classes,
Yeah.
plus other things that,
Mhm.
other like writing assignments or
Yeah.
things sort of like hoops to jump through, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Um,
And then
whatever.
maybe closing communion to just members. Type
that
of
would be way out. Yeah. Only like the members of that church.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Would
so
be
we would
allowed.
put that would be we'd put that on maybe the extreme conservative side of membership,
Mhm.
and then the extreme loose or liberal side of membership would be
Mhm.
no formal membership whatsoever.
At all. Yeah.
Okay. So let's maybe apply some biblical text to this idea. Where we go in terms of evaluating membership.
Yeah, because it's not formally commanded in scripture. We want to be careful.
Yeah.
We don't want to say you have to have membership, otherwise you're being an
Right.
unbiblical church.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, it seems like there are enough texts that at least give you the principles and the
Yeah.
groundwork to be like, yeah, some kind of
Yeah.
formal membership was probably in place.
Yeah.
Not that maybe it wasn't exactly what it looked like in our church or your church or any other church, but
Yeah.
Paul doesn't, or Peter, they don't lay out specifics, but they give principles.
Yeah.
For example, like in First Peter, well, I mean, First Peter 5, right?
Yeah.
Talks to the elders about shepherding the flock of God
Mm.
among you.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do you know who's among you?
Yeah.
And the idea is that they would be among the people,
Yeah.
so you're with these people, so they have to be some kind of a defined group,
Yeah.
not
Totally.
just random,
Yeah.
and not like everybody everywhere either, like a universal church
Mm.
membership idea, per se,
Yeah.
So it seems
So on the shepherd side, so from a pastoral perspective,
side,
you
yeah.
look at it and you say, well, this is the group of people who God has called me to shepherd.
Yeah.
And they're the people who are, even if they might not be formal members, they're
Yeah.
de facto members of the church just
Yeah.
by the nature of the fact that they're attending.
yeah,
And so the shepherding care, not necessarily the teaching or
Right.
preaching,
Yeah.
but the care of that
Yeah.
group of people. You have to shepherd that flock.
yeah, because
And
he's not
that's-
talking about Sunday morning pulpit
Right.
per se.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
He's talking about the spiritual caregiving. For that group.
absolutely.
So there we have a defined group of people who need to be cared for.
Mhm.
Okay.
First Peter
So that's
5.
the first principle there.
Yeah, but then you have texts. I mean, in one sense, you could say, like, if you think about all the one another's,
Yeah.
right? Well, who are you doing that to?
Yeah, totally.
Not to the universal church,
Right.
although you are
Though you
in one
could,
sense,
yeah.
But obviously, he's not being absurd and just
No.
saying, or being amorphous and be like, well, just kind of whoever.
Yeah, anytime you bump into a Christian,
Yeah.
do the one another's.
No,
Yeah.
he's talking about, of course, it's implied
Yeah.
that it's, because the letters are written to churches.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Church at Ephesus, the church Corinth,
Yeah.
things like that. So
Local bodies.
yeah, take care of those people, love one another, etc. Hebrews 10, what is it, 24, 25. Let us consider how to stimulate one another to love and good deeds, not forsaking our own assembling together.
Got it.
Well, who's assembling?
Yeah, who's assembling?
There has to be some defined set of Hebrew believers
Yeah.
and other congregations that are doing that.
Yeah.
That then they can encourage each other and stimulate one another to love and good deeds.
Got it.
Otherwise, the command really, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, totally.
It has no teeth.
So there has to be this is from a sheep side or a
Mhm.
congregant side.
Mhm.
There's a sense in which you were saying that there's a principle that undergirds all of this. It's
Yeah.
like you you have to have a defined group of people that you are then doing these
Yeah.
activities with,
Yeah.
encouraging them,
Right.
giving one another's, all those things. It has to be a group of people that are defined, as opposed to just like totally amorphous. Whoever I
No.
run into.
I don't think any of these texts that would make sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
totally.
Like you have to give the shirt off your back to someone,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
or food. Like
Yeah.
that's to somebody. That's
Yeah,
not just a
totally.
random you know, collection of people.
Totally,
No.
that's helpful.
No.
One other text that I
Go
was
ahead,
thinking
yeah.
about is Hebrews 13:17. He says, "Obey your leaders and
Yeah.
submit to them." So there you have. It's very interesting. You have a defined group of people
Yeah.
being led.
Your leaders.
Yeah, your leaders. So you
Yeah.
have two groups here: leaders and those who are being led.
Yep.
And there's a very defined structure that's in place.
Absolutely.
Then he says, "For they keep watch over your souls." That's that shepherding component, 1 Peter 5.
Yeah.
And then it says, "Let them do this with joy and not with grief, for that would be unprofitable for you."
Yeah.
So in a sense, like what he's saying is, be close to them.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, like say, "Hey, care for me. I'm a congregant," like,
Yeah.
and to the leaders,
Yep.
and that is actually is giving joy to the leaders.
Yeah.
So it's that mutuality of care,
Right.
which requires, in some sense, like some kind of
Yeah.
formalization of, hey,
Yeah.
this is my church. Yeah,
Like I'm here, I'm under your leadership. And the
exactly.
leader's like, thank you.
Yeah, you're my leader. You're my sheep. Yeah,
And I'm going to care for you
Yeah,
because I love
exactly.
you and I love you, so I want to submit. And ultimately, because this is God's design,
Yeah.
not man's.
yeah,
So
That's
there
helpful.
has to be some definition.
yeah.
How you draw that exactly, I
Yeah.
think, is, you know,
So then we would
Different.
say, so those are the principles that we can
Mhm.
then derive some type of formal church membership.
exactly.
But then would you say that if a person doesn't want to sign a membership covenant, they're sinning?
No, I couldn't say that. You know, you want to
Okay.
be careful where
Yeah.
you throw that word around. But I think you would want to have a conversation with that
Yeah.
person and try to shepherd them and figure out what is it that's the barrier.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, is there some
Yeah.
thing that they're stuck on, some
Yeah.
issue, or is it, you know, that I mean, if someone has stayed at a church for some significant amount of time, they've already informally or spiritually signed a membership
Yeah, become a
covenant or
membership,
affirmation,
yeah.
right? But then if they're not willing to just formalize it, let's say,
Mhm.
I think, I mean, you don't see that too much, but there's probably something going on there. You
Yeah.
know, you want to talk through. I'm not necessarily saying they're sinning,
Mm,
but I think you would want to find out.
yeah.
Hey,
What's
like,
going on there? Yeah.
yeah,
And a person could say, I guess, potentially just say, well, there's not a text that tells me I have to do that. I consider this church my church.
Fair.
Like I am a de facto member of the church spiritually.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then I wouldn't. Yeah, then it's not like church discipline, or we're going to be heavy-handed about it.
Yeah.
Say, okay, well, you know, if that's your conviction and where you are right now,
Yeah. Okay.
that's
Yeah.
okay.
We'd allow that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then maybe take it one step further. So so then members, so you have that membership care,
Yeah.
the principle being there.
Yeah.
Would you say that on the flip side, a church that says, "Hey, we refuse to have any church membership whatsoever," is there a problem kind of woven into the leadership of that
It
church?
could be. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have that, there would have to be a robust sense of member care.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you know, even if you don't have formal membership, you have to have some way of facilitating,
shepherding.
shepherding care.
Because you're commanded to shepherd the
Yeah.
flock of God.
Yeah. So either you guys are really good about shepherding people and you just
Yeah.
don't have formal membership, or what probably tends to happen, I think, is you do care for the people, but you could have easily things fall through the cracks, or
Totally.
it, you know, in some churches where it's just sort of like people are either passing through kind of a feel, or, you know, they're just kind of there
Yeah, totally.
to like watch other people put
Yeah,
on.
it's more like a
Mhm.
performance type
Mhm.
thing, as opposed to actually being shepherded and cared for in the
Mhm.
body.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like super helpful. So then, in one sense, what we're looking for is the heart, both of the leader and the
Yeah,
congregant. Where we
think
say
so.
like the congregant, like signing a formal church document saying, "Well,
At the end of the day.
that actually doesn't do anything
Yeah.
for the heart." If the person's like, "Hey, I'm going to be distant anyway, but these people are making me do this."
Anybody can sign that.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody can.
So what
Yeah.
we're looking for is a heart that says, "Hey, I want to be an active, participating
Yeah.
member of this church from my heart,
Yeah.
whether I sign the document or not."
Yeah.
So we're looking for the heart from the congregant and from the leader.
Of course.
And then the formalization of that is just saying, "Hey, here's some structures
Yeah.
to put in place to allow those hearts to then
Yeah.
connect in that way."
Absolutely. And I think like it's almost I mean, this is a not quite, you know, it's a little apples and oranges, but
Yeah.
like marriage. People say
Yeah, yeah.
things like, "Well, why do we have to get a piece of paper
Yeah, it's
to show our love?" And it's like, yeah, I know it's different. I think the formalization of marriage is very different from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
formalization of membership, right? Like God is joining you together type
yeah,
of a
for
thing.
sure, yeah.
But there is a similarity there where
Yeah.
the formalization is just facilitating like a heart's devotion to Christ
Yeah.
at his church,
Yeah.
and you're just saying, yeah, like I'm already doing it. It's not a big deal to
Yeah.
just sign that document, if you, as it
Yeah.
were, or
I'm
to go
just
through the classes.
Yeah, I'm just formalizing that this is
Yeah.
where my heart's at.
Yeah, and in a sense, like if the leadership is saying like this is the way that we've designed it,
Yeah.
then a member who I think whose heart's in the right place will be like, or a
Yeah.
soon to be member
Yeah.
whose heart's in a good place is like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be resistance,
Yeah.
generally speaking.
That's super helpful.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, there is like, maybe we should do another video on this because this one's getting long. But then that would be then like the question on like what should a membership covenant include? Like,
Yes.
are there red flags inside of a membership covenant that may be concerning?
Yeah.
Because obviously it should
Yeah.
be based on biblical principles,
Right.
exclusively.
Not like secondary things.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like authority levels that are outside the scope of what Scripture
Yeah.
allows.
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Jason, that's so helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's so formal.
Do you teach the membership classes at your church?
I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that okay?
You're the gatekeeper. I'm just kidding. Anyway, well, I hope that's helpful for you thinking about membership. Thank you so much. And Jason, if you have questions on this or any other topic, you can always email us at info@faithbibleoc.org.
Bye.